Hello, MGB here, and today I just want to show you a few things about GoFSH. It's a texturing application made for working with textures for the game of SimCity 4. And one of the features of this enables you to create textures automatically. And all you need to do that is to download a suitable repository, many of which are available online, and then to tell GoFSH which textures to use in the creation of the texture set overall. And you'll create an override mod with this process that you can just add into your plugins folder. So very simply, just open GoFSH quickly so I can show you a little bit about what I'm talking about. The option here, run script, that's what's used for the automation. This button, select build file, we'll click that to actually select which script we want to run. But for now, I'm just going to skip over that and click on select textures instead. And here you see we have two drop-down boxes at the top. At the moment, only the Maxis, that's the default sidewalks and grasses, are in place. And there's also other functions here. But the key thing that I'm going to show you today, or in this video at least, is just simply how to populate these top boxes with your own custom textures. So to do that, if you see over here, I've already installed the Sudden Valley Terrain mod and also the GRG Sidewalk mod version 3. And I'm going to, from those files, show you how you can create the textures we need to work with GoFSH. Now, the first thing I'm going to do, if you look at the right window here, in a Windows Explorer, just click in the top like I've done and type in with the %sign app data, and then finishing off with another %sign, hit enter on your keyboard. And that will take you automatically to the correct location, which is under users, your username, app data roaming. But it's a bit of a faff to get that. I believe it's even a hidden folder. So it's much easier to use that little trick I showed you a moment ago. Here there's a further GoFSH and texture subfolder. And when you get there, there's a further folder Maxis, which was in that drop-down list before. That's where those textures come from. So what I'm going to do is simply copy this folder, paste it twice. So I have two copies of the complete sets of textures. They're going to be placeholders for what we're doing in a moment. For my grass, I'm going to start that with the letter G, and that's Sudden Valley. And then for the second one, I'm going to use P for paving. That's the nomenclature for GoFSH uses paving, but it could be sidewalk or pavements equally. And we're going to call that one GRG Sidewalk. So we go back to GoFSH at this point, click on this Fish by Dat button here, and then click on Load Dat. And what this little part of the application allows me to do is to actually open SimCity game files and extract the textures from them. So we're going to start with the sidewalk folder, and essentially what you need to find here depends on what sidewalk mod you're using, but you need to find the files for the base sidewalk mod. As is the case here, for some mods, you will find there is a separate DAT file, in this case for each of the low, medium, high, and rural textures. Note that not all sidewalk mods will include all 4 textures. Some of them may duplicate the same texture for use with each wealth level. There's many variations and differences, but the main thing you need to know is that you need to find the files that include the sidewalk textures from your sidewalk mod. So we'll start by using the low wealth one here, just because that makes life easier. And in this window, if I click textures, it'll then show me the actual textures we're looking at. And what we're looking for is this ID here, 081, and then all zeros. And that's basically the ID that is used by SimCity 4 for the low wealth sidewalk. So make sure that's the only one selected, that Save Largest is selected, and let's click on Save Fish. It's then going to ask us for a location to put that into. So I've just got this temporary folder set up in my computer, but this could be literally anywhere. And we will save that file. Click on Load Dat again, and then we go into the medium wealth one. And we're following the same procedure again, just unticking the one that we don't want. And again, there may be more or less files than the ones you're looking at, but we're looking for the medium wealth texture, 082, and then all the zeros, or I say all the zeros, that's technically 5 of them. Once more, Save that file to the same place as the first one. Rinse and repeat for the high wealth version. And once more for the rural sidewalk. This is basically the sidewalk which will be shown next to agricultural or farming zones. It's also there by default when you run a railway line and have zoning touching the rails. So I now have all the files I need, so we can close this window. I just need to do a little bit of pruning because unfortunately I already had something in there I was working on, so let me just get rid of that. Excuse me. So in the bottom left, that's this particular square, this is where we will load an FSH file into the game, or fish file as they tend to be known. And if you see here, GoFSH has remembered where we were last saving files. So we just click that to load it. Make sure decode is selected. I untick this box, click GoFSH, and what we should have is the complete set of textures converted into bitmaps. We also have these alpha files which end in A0, and we also have the original fish files. Now we don't actually need anything apart from the textures itself, so I'm just going to highlight all of those and get rid of them. And as you can see here, it's 081 low wealth, 082 medium wealth, 083 high wealth, and 084 is the rural sidewalk. So we have all the four that we need. And move this window just slightly, and we're going to put those into the sidewalk folder. So the way GoFSH works, it has named these files paving 10C, 20C, 30C, and the rural one is dirt 00C. So we can just simply press F2 while that's highlighted, Control C to copy the file name, F2, Control V, and there you go. No typing or messing around, just a very quick method to give these new files the file name that we want. Once we've got those, I'm just going to move them. I'm not even going to copy them, and click to overwrite the ones that are in there originally. And now you see we have the paving textures set up. I'm not sure GoFSH will actually see that until we reboot, but no, I'm wrong. No, we don't have to restart the application even. So now, verify here, it's got those textures in place, which is great. So we should probably move on. And let's do the grass ones. Excuse me. Now the grass ones are a little bit less obvious. I'm just going to bring two files in to my working folder temporarily so you can see what we're doing. Essentially, in order for it to make sense to add custom grasses to your files, you're going to need to be using something like my TGN mod, or to have made a custom one. One way or another, you need to have the grass textures to use with it. For the GoFSH Sudden Valley and Berner Oberland mods, these two files here, SV-based textures or BO based texture replacement stats, both contain the files that you will need for this process. If you're using either the Pyrenean or Appalachian, I'm sorry if I'm pronouncing that incorrectly, versions of TGN, I've included special file TGN based textures. That too will have the files you need for this process. If you're using some sort of custom grass, well, at this point, as I'm sure you can imagine, you are on your own, but you should know where those come from, and the process will be much the same, just as we did before with the sidewalks, really. So this time we open up the SV based textures file, or the equivalent in your case. Hit textures. Now this is a bit more complicated this time. We want to unselect everything, and the ones we are looking for start 251C, and then it's 1, 2, and 3 for low wealth, medium wealth, and high wealth. Of course, there are other sets of textures in here, but these are the ones I've based the TGN mods off. Obviously, if you're using some sort of custom texture setup, then you'll have to work that out for yourself. Okay, so let's save those as the actual fish files. And we open the fish files, convert them to bitmaps, remove remove the things we don't need. And as you see, again, grass 10, grass 20, and grass 30 are our new file names. Once more, move those into that folder, replace everything. And now when I go into the GoFSH system, so we have the option for our grass textures and the option for our custom sidewalk textures. And this is now set up so that we can use the automation function of GoFSH to create custom textures. You can actually move on from just setting up GoFSH to actually making use of it. You'll see here I've got a website open on Simtropolis. This is in the Gone Fishing forum. I'll leave a link for everyone in the video. It's going to be much easier. But long and short, it's in this post where Rivit has given a link to his OneDrive resources. Another word for that would be his repositories for use with GoFSH. There are other creators, myself included, that will be uploading repositories that people can make use of. What I need for now, just going to see if we can find the TSR Streets mod. So let's click on that and wait for OneDrive to do its wonderful thing. Download that to the desktop for me. Thankfully, it's remarkably fast. And with this, we can just show you how, in practice, to get this working. So, inside the zip file I downloaded, I'm going to copy that into this folder on the right. And essentially, this is where your plugins and regions folder are. They're the SimCity 4 folder in documents. I've just created a new subfolder in there, GoFSH, and it's a nice tidy place to keep all your GoFSH repositories. At this point, I'm going to click here, and I'm going to copy the address. There's a good reason for doing that, which will become apparent in a moment. So now, if we just head into the GoFSH application, click on Run Script, select Build File, and I can just paste. You can use Control V if you prefer, hit Enter, and here we are. There's the scripts. So make all and package is the script we want to use here. See, everything's gone fine. Going to use our custom Sudden Valley grass textures and our custom JRG sidewalk textures, which I set up in part 1 of this video. I'm just going to click on Start Build, and you'll see over here on the left how it's starting to create a custom texture set. And you see all the network textures will have the relevant grass and sidewalks that we've selected. Anyway, that process is going to take a little bit of a while, and I don't think you want to sit here and watch it happen. So I will come back to you when it is done. And it really is, with that little bong, as simple as just waiting for the script to finish. You see here, hidden somewhere behind this sometimes, this little box, do you want to clear temporary folders? Once you've got to the point where it's no longer processing, you'll hear that sound. So I should stop clicking the mouse, that's probably quite annoying. If you just press Y on your keyboard, if you can't see it, that will make it go away. Once you see cleanup finished here, we can just click finish. Everything's done, and that last process is just basically to get rid of any temporary files we don't need. We can have to close GoFSH, we don't need that at the moment. This is where we've run this is where we've run from the repository. Release folder at the top, RVT Streets. I happen to know this is where the newly created files will be. So take everything from there and copy it. Go to our plugins folder. Let's create a folder. I think that's possibly correct for Rivit, but doesn't really matter because it's going to work in this case. Copy all those files there, and yeah, these if I just open one of these in Reader, I need to find a suitable texture, but you can see there our grass has been baked in, as has the sidewalk, although that's not always necessary. If we were to run the game now, find a suitable, not that one, sorry, that would be better. Suitable new tile just to mess around in. So I don't have anything developed to show at the moment. It's a bit time consuming to set up cities and everything. So I can show you the basics of what's happened here. So you see I've got the Southern Valley terrain installed. And if I just click the street tool, start making some of the various different street combinations. To get the zoning tool, I'm going to put some fake zones in because that's always fun, right? As we zone down, you see that's the custom grasses that we build into it, and the sidewalks are showing correctly too. Well, that's less important for the draggable network textures. But in essence, what we've managed to create here is a custom version of Rivit's Urban TSR Streets. Hopefully with the tips I've shown in this video, it'll enable more people to take advantage of the repositories and customization options that are now possible. Goodbye.